1 Tango 10, we have a shootout in your vicinity. Can you help out?
We're on.
Copy. I'll transmit all the relevant information.
My bad.
Be careful!
trying to kill us?
Good morning. We received a call from around here about the sighting of a criminal. Was it you who called?
And who might you be? We didn't call nobody, especially not some officer friendly in a cheap costume.
My name is Officer Marshall, and this is not a costume. Have you seen anyone else around here?
Sorry, sir, but there's still nobody around here. And we haven't seen anyone.
We've been here all day. It's our territory, you know. No criminals lurking around here.
Please let us know if any criminal ever turns up here. Thank you for your statement.
Well, that was a waste of time.
It was a long shot, but we did the right thing.
Agreed. We can't just ignore leads, no matter how small.
See? I would have been surprised if we'd found anybody, though. It's really dead boring here.
Then let's head back and continue our investigations. I'm sure the next clue is just around the corner.
Talking about the next clue, don't you think that something was way off with Harris this morning, too?
Now that you mention it, he was quite nervous, wasn't he?
Agreed. I might ask him about it when we're back. Strange that he's the one who told us about this caller.
Right. He's not on dispatch. He's not even on our shift or our case. Let's head back and find out more.
Dispatch to 1 Tango 10. Do you read me?
Loud and clear. What's the matter?
There's been another sighting of Travis Cole. I'll send you the exact coordinates of the caller. Please investigate.
Understood. We'll head there right away and notify you of our findings. Over.
Was that Harris on dispatch? What's he doing there? This can't be a real call.
This is getting super weird. We should check it out, though. Just be prepared for anything.
I wonder what we'll find here.
Be careful, we might be running into a trap. Who knows what's going on in the background?
Whatever it is, we'll find out soon enough.
Do you ever think about what Kaminora was like in the past?
Getting a bit nostalgic there, Nat?
No. I mean, maybe. Just when you imagine Kaminora 10 years ago, what does it look like?
Poor. At least the north of Apaloya. Just like today.
Nothing's changed?
Well, I remember there being golden fields in the summer, as far as the eye could see. Not those hideous oil pumps lining the horizon.
Yeah, me too. The south is looking better since the land was sold, but the north, it's all going downhill. The people are desperate, Marsh. I hope the situation doesn't get any worse.
I'm afraid it will. Only a matter of time if no one steps in and changes things for the better.
I think we could be the change.
Maybe. We can try, at least.
What does it say? Is this something we can go off of?
Whoever wrote this seems to know who we are. It's a request to look at an old case.
They know who the... Oh my. This is getting scary.
I wonder if that old case has something to do with Cole and his gang. Why else would we be asked to check it?
What are we waiting for then? I want to find whoever wrote this ASAP. Are you trying to kill us?
Hello, Bridget. Everything okay here at reception?
Of course, Marsh. Keeping order wherever chaos tries to take hold.
Firefighter arson. Nothing too unusual. Seems like an open and shut case if you ask me.
And yet we were pointed to it. What if there's more about it? Something that was overlooked?
Or whoever wrote the note is a psycho trying to waste our time and stop us from catching Cole.
Either way, I want to at least check in with Yusuf and look at the old evidence.
You're not one to back down, are you? Very well. Let's pay him a visit.
What brings you here, officers?
We'd like to take a look at evidence from an old case. Where's the file?
Wow. That is an old case. Where'd you come up with that? It was solved ages ago.
It just popped up during our current investigation. Can we see the evidence now?
Of course. Wait here. I'll get it out for you.
What do we have here? This bag holds scraps of burned wood, fabric, and other small pieces from the crime scene. What do we have here? Quite a few of these butts were found at the scene. One could have ignited the fire, but the evidence is ultimately inconclusive. What do we have here? The lock on the door was broken. Looks like someone forced their way in. What do we have here? Were the leaves piled up to help the fire spread, or was that a coincidence? What do we have here? It was suggested that this rug was the place where the fire started. No wonder if it was doused in gasoline. What do we have here? The notes were taken by the officers back then. They came to a conclusion real quick, it seems. What do we have here? The case folder. Long story short, the firefighter committed arson, or so it says here. What do we have here? This can was found at the scene, just like some gas canisters. That's a good fire starter for sure. What do we have here? The case folder. Long story short, the firefighter committed arson, or so it says here. What do we have here? The notes were taken by the officers back then. They came to a conclusion.
Okay then, great detective. Tell me what you think about the evidence.
Sounds a bit like a conspiracy, but I think the homeowner might have done it themselves. The gasoline was bought by them. They just borrowed the cigarette, and they could have lied about the piles of leaves.
If that's your theory, what do you want to do next? How are you going to prove it?
I'd like to talk to the chief first, and maybe a look at the old crime scene will help clear this up.
As you wish. But next week, I get to pick something extra.
Where do you think you're going?
We want to talk to the chief. It's about our case. Is that prohibited now?
The Travis Cole case you should be working on? Or the old arson case?
Oh, you know. But that's connected to our current case, Major.
Just don't waste your time. Remember, I'm the one who has to explain it, but I'm also your superior.
Understood. Do you still want to go ahead with this?
Well, let's stick to the plan. If my gut feeling's right, we'll uncover something bigger. And the chief might help us. Mike will be praising us again soon enough. You'll see now.
Hello, Officer Marshall.
Hey, Chief. What's going on?
Oh, just looking at some old photos. Back from my time in the military.
Good times back then, Chief?
Yes and no. Maybe I'll talk about it another time.
Chief, may I have a minute of your time? Do you know any more details about case 08-28703?
That's an old case, officer. It's been a while. Let me think. We received sponsored equipment to solve this case adequately. Quite the upgrade for our station. The sponsor was Aiden Fletcher, a former mayoral candidate. He didn't get the position, but he's still well off, I think.
That's where we got that from. Interesting. Thanks a lot, Chief. That'll help us in our case. This must be the place. It really has just been left as it was.
Then we might actually be able to find something. Let's look around.
I think this could be... I think this could be... What a day.
And a lot of work to do.
Yes, of course.
I think that's all we need to see here. Did that help you figure anything out? What do you think? So Fletcher was in on it? Used the opportunity and covered his ass by sponsoring equipment?
Wouldn't it fit? He lets Xavier Ellis burn down his house, secretly collects the documents, and reports them as lost.
And that would be insurance fraud. I think we should pay him a visit to talk about this.
My bad.
Be careful!
So this is what the house of a mayoral candidate looks like. Seems we're in the wrong profession.
And commit insurance fraud? No thanks, officer. Let's go in now.
Mr. Fletcher, we have come here to discuss the arson case that destroyed a house you owned near Summersard.
Oh, yes, I remember. It was small, yet I miss it dearly. A shame it burned down.
The blame was put on a firefighter, but now we have reason to believe that a second party was involved.
What do you mean by that? That Ellis guy wasn't working alone.
I'm sorry, sir, but we have grounds to assume that you were part of an insurance fraud scheme.
What are you talking about? Insurance fraud? Do you have any evidence for your wild accusations?
There was a broken lock on the back door.
That's proof against your point. My house was broken into. Wouldn't I have gone in with a key?
Fair enough. The lock doesn't incriminate him in the slightest. Quite the opposite, in fact.
Hidden underneath some floorboards, we found an empty fireproof safe. What was in there?
The safe? What safe? Oh, that's, yeah, no, that was empty the entire time, and I didn't even know,
Sir, your reaction is very telling.
We only found out the house belonged to you via the metal plate on the building. It was never noted in the files.
Exactly. Raises the question of whether you properly mentioned that to the officers and the insurance company.
But I might have just forgotten about that. It was a big fuss, you know.
Let's keep this short. Mr. Fletcher, you are under arrest on suspicion of insurance fraud.
This is an atrocity. I was promised immunity for all the good I've done.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
What is it this time, officers? Here to steal my time?
Is it really stealing time if we're bringing good news? You'll be delighted, Major.
Good news? Fine. Spit it out.
Remember that case we wasted our time on? We figured out the truth and made an additional arrest.
Another arrest? So you scooped through all the evidence and decided every other officer had missed something.
We revisited the crime scene and found, revealed by the elements, a fireproof but empty safe.
Not only that, there was also a metal plate with the name of our suspect on it.
Long story short, we visited Aiden Fletcher, who owned that house, and got a confession out of him.
Honestly, I'm impressed. But Aiden Fletcher. Did it have to be him?
May I ask what it is about him, Major? I'd have thought a properly resolved case would be a reason for praise.
I'd praise you for an arrest if it weren't one of our main sponsors. You may leave now. I have a lot of work to do.
Oh, look at that. Another note.
Someone probably just left it here. What does it say?
It can't be from another officer. It's directed at us.
Another of those weird notes. We're not done yet. I bet Harris put it here when we were out.
You think this is all on him?
No, I feel he's more like a minion in this game. Should we accept the invitation?
Definitely. We need to figure out who this is and what this is all about. Dispatch, this is 1 Tango 10. We might need some help getting back on the road here.
Understood. We'll send some help.
Look, there's someone over there. That must be our guy.
Hey there. It was you who sent those notes, wasn't it?
Ah, officers. How kind of you to accept my invitation. Care to introduce yourselves?
This is Officer Marshall, and I'm Officer Cordero. And you are?
Pleased to meet you. I'm Lionel Walker. And I'm happy to see that you solved the little puzzle I sent you.
So we got it right. Care to elaborate?
Yes, you did. I learned from a source of mine what was happening back then. A young firefighter, Ellis. He really was a thrill seeker. Fletcher knew it. And he had something to hide.
The empty safe.
Exactly. He told Ellis where to start the fire and made sure his documents seemed to have been destroyed. Then he also generously sponsored new equipment for your police station to be on good terms with your bosses.
Ellis's sentencing was justified then. Good thing we found the second culprit as well.
My part in this is far bigger than you could imagine. And for a good reason.
You're bigger in the bribery scene, aren't you? You know of more cases.
I am a fighter for justice, believe it or not.
How so?
I want to expose the corrupt system. I want the world to see it for what it is. And I want the bribery to cease. Others won't suffer the way I did. The way my family and friends did. That's my goal. And that's Travis's goal.
Were you ever wrongly accused of something? A victim of the system, so to speak?
That's about right. In short, we were mistreated and nobody helped us. Money changed hands to keep it secret. Well then, before you arrest me for whatever charges you can think of, I'd like to ask a question, officer. After all you've learned, what is your opinion on the state of corruption in politics? And your station in particular?
I've seen more of these cases recently. Think of Mercer or Fletcher. We're heading in the wrong direction.
And that's not all. Not by a long shot. I'm sure if you keep your eyes open wide, you'll be able to break this circle eventually.
Now that you've had your fun, we should end this conversation. You're coming with us.
Mr. Walker, we're arresting you on the suspicion of conspiring with wanted criminal Travis Cole.
Mr. Walker, this has been nagging me for a while. Are you actually on good terms with the other people Travis has hired?
You're asking if I approve of their not-so-legal lifestyle? I'm conflicted about it, to be honest.
That means, unlike Travis, you would probably be willing to give us a hint or two about them.
To be frank, I don't like them very much. And most should have already fulfilled their purpose. So, I think you found the leather glove, didn't you? It might be worth checking for a famous, unbeatable racer nearby.
Thanks, I guess. Let's see what we can make of these. At least you're cooperative.
What a beautiful morning.
Officer Harris, a word?
With me? Sure. How can I help you?
I have a suspicion, and please be honest with me now. You were involved with Lionel Walker, right?
Yes, he approached me and I put you on his trail.
But you didn't just do it for fun, did you? I bet he paid you. Testing if you could be bribed as well.
Lionel let another weak link surface. His methods are questionable, but the results can't be denied.
And what are you gonna do with me now?
I have to tell the chief. I will not let this happen if I can help it. And then you will have to make your point to him.
I see. Of course you have to. I won't hold it against you, Officer Marshall.
Hey, Chief.
Hello, Officer Marshall. Any news about those criminals?
Not yet, Chief, but we're on it.
I want you to give your best. You understand me? This is really important. We can't let them roam the streets of Kamanora any longer.
Yes, Chief, I understand. One Tango 10 to dispatch. We're unable to finish working on this accident. Please send another unit.
Copy. 1 Tango 10. Another unit will take over for you.
It's a nice day, huh?
It sure is.
I think sometimes you just have to rest for a while and take a deep breath. To let it all sink in, you know?